Welcome to the Writer's Journey podcast. I'm Michael Laron, a science fiction and fantasy author on a journey to go from nobody to bestseller, and I'm documenting every step of the way. Tune in every week as I pull back the curtain on my writing life and how I'm building a writing career while working a full-time job, raising a family, and attending law school classes in the evenings. You can find show notes for this week's episode, a free starter library of my fiction, and much more at michaellaron.com. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to episode 50. And in this episode, I'm going to talk about my quest to write 50 books. So episode 50, I'm going to talk about my goal of hitting 50 books. More on that in a second. But right now I'm working on my Good Necromancer series, Shadow Deal, book 1 in that series. And things are going really, really well. Just got yesterday the book back from my copy editor. And so I worked with Joe Nassis. He is a really good editor. I met him in Vegas, and he's got a lot of experience working on urban fantasy books. And so he sent me back the changes, and I'm in the process of working my way through those, and I'm about a third of the way through. And so far, it hasn't been anything that has been like a major plot hole or anything where he was like, oh my gosh, what the heck are you doing, right? So definitely some issues that I need to work on in the story, but nothing that is not insurmountable. So that is great. And I also earlier this week also filled out the questionnaire for my cover designer, and he's pretty confident that he can get the book back to me by March 8th. And so it's an interesting thing going on here because I'm working on the book, working on the edits so I can get the manuscript off to my next editor, who thinks that she can get it back to me fairly quickly. Then I've got the cover design coming in, and I'm at this weird point in the novel where it's like I've pretty much done the work. It's just, okay, how do I go from a writer to a project manager? Because I feel like I'm juggling a lot of balls in the air, and not to mention I've got the course going on, and just things are crazy for me, but that's kind of just how things always are. So, and in my own personal life, I'm in the process of starting up classes again for the semester. So law school classes are starting up again, and I'm taking, it's kind of an interesting course this semester. It's conflict and negotiation. And it's a weird course because it's taught through the business school, which is cool. But the courses are only on the weekends, and it's one weekend a month, but it's like all weekend. So I have like tons and tons of reading to do that I'm a little behind on, and I kind of have to get that done by Friday. And we'll see what happens, right? And that, and a new job, and school starting up, and 2 podcasts, and the YouTube channel, of course, and this podcast, and the course, and of course, people always wondering, how do you get things done? And this morning was a great example of how I actually get things done. So for my class, I have to read, I don't know, I think it's like 180 pages or something like that before Friday. And what I do is with my books is anytime I can buy them in all formats, I do that. So I bought this particular book in ebook, paperback, and audio. So I wasn't able to do much reading, like sitting in my chair and reading per se, but I was able to read one chapter on my phone one of the days this week. And then my wife had me go get lunch for her and my daughter, so that was about a 30-minute round trip, and in that period I listened to the audiobook at 2 times speed, and I was able to get through 2 chapters. Boom. That's exactly how I do it. Multitasking, right? Yay for multitasking. So my next project is going to be, now that I'm almost to the finish line with the Good Necromancer, I'm thinking my next project is going to be Reaper's Way, which is going to be a novella in the Lester Broussard universe, and that is going to be the freebie that I give away for people that sign up for my mailing list. So that is next, and I will also have that edited as well. So that'll launch when it launches. It's not as huge of a priority for me. I'm really just focused on getting book 1 to the finish line and making sure that my technique and the product is as high quality as I can make it. And then beyond that, I got this really weird thought in my head the past couple of days, and it's so weird that I like it, and it's so up my alley that if I said I was going to do it, no one would be surprised. And that is, I think I'm going to write a dictionary. Like, it sounds ridiculous, right? But I was thinking, there are a lot of authors out there that when you start off in the business, there's so many different terms and terminologies and things that just people don't understand, and there's just so much you have to learn. And over this past 5 years, I have learned a lot. It's just been a crash course in entrepreneurialism and business and writing and craft and economics, and it's just so many different things that you learn being a writer and having to negotiate deals and doing podcasts and YouTube channels and all that I think my next project is going to be, I'm going to write a dictionary for writers. And it's not going to be something that takes a whole lot of time. In fact, this is something I probably could do relatively quickly, but I'm going to do a dictionary, and I'm just going to make it available for free for my Author Level Up subscribers. And that'll kind of be the cool thing that, they can download if they join my mailing list, right? So it's not something I'm going to be terribly serious about, but I do want to create a good product. And so I'll do that in ebook and audio, and that way people have said that they would love to hear me reading a dictionary. You will actually be able to hear me reading a dictionary. So that'll probably be a project for this spring, but something I'm thinking about, and it'll be a nice buffer between all the fiction that I've been writing lately, to be able to just kind of cleanse the palate a little bit, do something nonfiction before I jump into book 2 of the Good Necromancer. So I've been really excited about the projects that I've been working on this past month to start the year off. And I think I had a really good start to the new year. And I was doing some math last week, and there's this saying, you don't really hit success until you put in your 10,000 hours. I think Malcolm Gladwell coined that. And I actually did the math. I actually just hit my 10,000 hours at the end of last year. Does that mean I'm going to be successful? I don't know. I have no idea. But I definitely am feeling a level up in my confidence and just in how I'm bringing my projects together lately that I haven't felt before in my career. And that's there's something to be said for that. I always feel like I have a good idea of when I level up and when things are going really well. So that's what I'm focusing on. And my goal for this year, and I talked about this a little bit in my goals video last year, my goal is to write 50 books by the end of this year. Now, I've written, I think, 43 books. So that means I'll have to write 7 books this year in order to hit my goal of 50 books. So did some thinking, and I think I can do it, but, going to try to hit that 50 book mark. And, if I fall a little bit short, that's fine, because I want to make sure the books that I'm writing are quality and are books that you guys are going to love. But I'm definitely going to try to shoot for the stars with this, and we'll see what happens. Most of it will probably be fiction, but I will have some nonfiction in there as well. And with the new pen name, I think there's going to be a lot of different opportunities for me to do some different things that will count as books this year. Thanks for joining me this week. If you like this episode, you'll enjoy my backlist episodes at michaellaron.com/podcast. For your free starter library of my favorite novels, join my fan club by visiting michaellaron.com/fan club. If you're a writer and you want to connect with me further, check out my YouTube channel, Author Level Up, for helpful writing advice at authorlevelup.com. Thanks for listening, and I'll be back next week.